It has long been conventional wisdom in diplomatic circles that any decision by the United States to move its embassy in Israel from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem would have catastrophic consequences for regional security. Yet President Trump, who isn't exactly known for his political orthodoxy, is considering doing exactly that, according to the president's senior advisor and son-in-law, Jared Kushner.
What I'll say is that the president's going to make his decision, and
he hasn't made his decision?
He's still looking at a lot of different facts, and that when he makes his decision, he'll be the one to want to tell you, not me. So he'll make sure he does that at the right time.
On Sunday, at his first major public speech since becoming Trump's advisor on the Palestine-Israel conflict, Kushner spoke up the White House's plan to strike what he described as the ultimate deal to end the ongoing conflict between Israelis and Palestinians.
If we're going to try and create more stability in the region as a whole, you have to solve this issue. And so the president sees it as something that has to be solved, that he very much wants to be solved.
However, to the concern of many an observer, Kushner said that his father-in-law is deliberating a move of the US Embassy, which currently sits in what is internationally seen as Israel's capital, Tel Aviv, to the disputed city of Jerusalem, which both Israelis and Palestinians claim as their capital. The development comes on the heels of a revelation last Friday that with or without the embassy move, President Trump is, at the least, likely to recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital in an announcement at some point this week. According to reports, State Department officials serving in the Arab world have been warned to prepare for huge and potentially violent public protests at US embassy sites if the president goes ahead with either idea. On top of that, many have warned that the Trump administration's credibility as a broker of peace between Israelis and Palestinians could be damaged as a result of either move. Earlier on, I caught up with Middle East analyst Due-Gundersen, and he told me why he agrees.
We have to remember that no country actually has an embassy in Jerusalem vis-a-vis their relationship with Israel. And so if Trump actually does recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel, it's going to be a massive, massive blow to achieving peace in the region. The key to achieving peace between Palestinians and Israelis is basically trust. And if Trump goes ahead with this move, it's going to break that trust, and it's going to affect the image of the U.S. as an honest peace broker in the Middle East.
We will move the American embassy to the eternal capital of the Jewish people, Jerusalem.
Throughout his presidential campaign, candidate Trump made it a central foreign policy priority to move the US embassy to Jerusalem, music to the ears of the Israeli government of Benjamin Netanyahu, but a nightmare scenario for the Palestinian leadership, which warned at the weekend that any American step related to the recognition of Jerusalem as the capital of Israel is a threat to the future of the peace process and is unacceptable for the Palestinians and Arabs.
And I also have said...
Previous US presidents have insisted that Jerusalem's status should be decided through bilateral Palestinian-Israeli negotiations and not unilateral declaration.
It's not the job of the United States to dictate the form in which that will take.
Israel declared Jerusalem to be its undivided and eternal capital in 1980, but Tel Aviv's claims to the entirety of the city are unrecognized by the international community. On the other hand, Palestinians claim East Jerusalem, which is currently under Israeli military occupation, as the capital of any future state. Any US recognition of Israel's claim to the city is seen as risking a diplomatic crisis for Washington in the Muslim world. So taking that into consideration, I asked Mr. Due-Gundersen what the strategic thinking is behind Trump's position on Jerusalem.
Well, I think that recently we've seen that Trump is trying to move closer to Israel itself. There is the belief that if you look at the history of America in the Middle East, that the U.S., any administration would like to have a non-Arab ally in the region, which means de facto Israel, for a variety of reasons, including similar culture. But I think at the same time, it is very, very risky to do this because we already see a lot of regional reaction. We see, for example, some countries like Jordan are already trying to preempt the possibility that Trump is going to make this move, and they're actually going to convene an emergency meeting very soon with the Arab League.
Once again, one of the holiest cities on the planet has been transformed into one of its most serious flashpoints. What comes next remains to be seen, but one thing is for sure, that if the US follows through on either the embassy move or the validation of Jerusalem as Israel's capital, then it had best brace for an Arab backlash. Matthew Aiton, Radio Sputnik.